Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hello everyone, hope you're well. Going to keep the next couple videos today and tomorrow fairly short as just little updates as it is holiday weekend and going to be busy doing things, but going to be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple. Took Bitcoin Cash off of it for now because it is correlating to the big three doing very similar action, and I'm not a fan of the liquidity and not a fan of trading it, so we'll go back to there if there's some action, but I'm going to bounce around where there's more action, and Ripple has begun to consolidate, so we'll check in on that. So where we left off in the last video, we were watching the 4-hour equilibrium pattern that was forming on Bitcoin, and it has obviously broken bearish at this point. So we were looking at our, right here is where we were at. We saw our low of this pullback, and we were looking at the high of the bounce and our higher low. And when I did the video, we were about right here. So we had our high and our low. We had a clear bear break. So I said, because we have a 4-hour inside or a 4-hour equilibrium pattern forming, I know that if I zoom out, I'm going to see an inside bar. The daily inside bar broke bearish at 14,041. So the alert went out for the bear break of the daily inside bar at that price. Next thing you know, we dropped down to 12,500. So that is a drop of 10% that could have been avoided by playing based off of this inside bar. Just 3 days ago, we had a daily inside bar break bullish, and that move gave, over a 10% move to the upside. So giving profit and protecting from losses is two examples in the past week of how daily inside bars could be utilized on Bitcoin. So let's get the update now. On Bitcoin, we're looking at an attempt to form a higher low. And we had a rejection on this MACD cross. We were on the verge of that bullish MACD cross. We were looking at that in the video last night, and we clearly rejected on the bear break and did not see that follow through. So now we broke support, and we're looking for a higher low compared to the low of the dump. Look at the daily, and we have the all-out dump, and the bulls after 4 red days are trying to turn around momentum, and they are struggling. And again, look at the exponential moving averages, the 12 and the 26 period. I don't have them on these charts because I just look at them on GDAX, but look at them on GDAX on the hourly time frame because it is so very consistent that we are rejecting from those levels on Bitcoin over the last couple days. And I'm just looking right now and I'm seeing 3 very clear rejections just today alone on the hourly time frame using those exponential moving averages. So the bulls have to get over those levels to turn around the momentum and to turn around the trend. Right now on the 4-hour time frame, we had our bounce attempt, came back. We're tightening up but not forming inside bars. So looking at that on the hourly time frame, we have an equilibrium pattern. We have our low of the pullback today, high of the bounce, higher low. Our higher low is 12,633, and we just formed a lower high. Look how close these levels are to their previous levels. They're getting real close and then rejecting. Both of these rejections are off of those exponential moving averages on GDAX on the hourly time frame. So our new lower high is 13,450. The range is 12,633 to 14. Let's try that again. The support is 12,633 and resistance is 13,450. We're watching for a break of this equilibrium pattern. We did have a bullish MACD cross on the hourly time frame. If we get a bull break of this pattern, we're going to be looking again for the bullish MACD cross on the 4-hour time frame to be getting close if we can break up over that level. So we had a 4-hour equilibrium pattern to watch overnight last night. We've got an hourly equilibrium pattern to watch over tonight. The bears have momentum, and it's up to the bulls to prove to us that they're getting that momentum back. We do have some convincing bull volume behind this last move. And look at this volume show up here with this V-shaped recovery and a big turnaround based on that volume. But we couldn't break resistance. 13,490, we came $40 shy and pulled back. So that is the key hourly pattern to be watching for tonight to make any decisions. So looking at Ethereum, we have a break in the correlation that just occurred. And just to zoom in on the shorter term timeframes, look at the 15-minute chart with this V-shaped recovery, and look at Ethereum on the 15-minute chart, and it did not make a V-shaped recovery, and it's heading back down to its recent low. So the low of 7 p.m. Eastern is about to be tested, and we look at Bitcoin, and here's the low of 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're well above it. So very interesting to note that it is now shifting this correlation that has been so favoring the bulls of Ethereum for the last 3 days, and now it's looking like we're going to get linked back up again as very similar situations, although as it stands, still very clearly a lead bull on the daily chart. And let's just compare that as to what I'm looking at to make that decision, or to make that come to that conclusion. So here are these higher lows on the daily, and they clearly broke and we dumped. Look at Ethereum, higher lows on the daily still intact. So we have a little equilibrium pattern forming on Ethereum still. We have not broken this pattern. And this pattern has been playing out for days and days at this point. I believe we're on day number 4. Look at how clear this pattern is going to be when it breaks. As of right now, our range is zoomed in a little bit, and we have our new lower high being set right there, and our higher low is right here. So the range on Ethereum, 676 support and 755 resistance. Still a lot of space in between those levels. We could very easily spend another day within this pattern and wait patiently, another couple days actually. So the low of the dump, high of the bounce, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, and just patiently watching for this break. This break is likely to occur within 3 days, like I said, and it will be very, very clear when it happens as to which direction it is favoring. So at this point, as it's getting tighter and tighter, that means there's less trading opportunity within this pattern, which means I'm probably going to hold off on Ethereum and wait until this pattern breaks before I make any more entries. So hourly time frame for some more details, we can see we're in a little lower high, lower low pattern and fading back down towards that recent low. So the 4-hour time frame is most important for Ethereum, in my opinion, in the shorter term, and the hourly time frame is most important for Bitcoin that I pointed out. Litecoin on the daily time frame is the clear lead bear, as we have been pulling back and we have very little support until the low of 144. 206 is the lowest price we saw. The 4-hour time frame is trying to bounce in a very similar manner to Bitcoin, and the bull MACD cross will follow through if we can get the bull break of that equilibrium pattern. So here's the hourly chart, same thing. We have our low of the pullback, high of the bounce, higher low, and a lower high just barely. Resistance was 227.91. Here we go, 227.50, a lower high by 41 cents. So the range, 212 support and 227.50 resistance. We'll see which direction breaks. And again, if we get a bull break, the 4-hour bull MACD cross will be more likely. We are hitting oversold RSI level and bouncing from 4-hour RSI, although we are tied to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin did not really bounce from 4-hour RSI. So we have to see Bitcoin break bullish to see Litecoin break bullish. Those two are definitely strongly correlated. If they both break their hourly equilibrium pattern bullish, I don't believe that's enough of an indication to have us assume that Ethereum is going to break its 4-hour pattern bullish, because it's a longer term time frame and it's going to take more work from these bulls. If we break bullish on the hourly time frame on those other two names, I would expect Ethereum to make its way back towards the mid 700s, but we're still going to have to get over 755. That will be the key proving level for these bulls. So let's look at Ripple, and then I'll touch on a trade that I recently made on Bitcoin on a dump, and we'll wrap it up. So huge breakout on Ripple, tons of hype, tons of FOMO, all of that good stuff that we are well aware of, and we are pulling back. It's a clear bearish reversal candlestick. It's being confirmed. Volume climax, not exactly, but look at the indications where we consolidate. Highest volume is when we begin to consolidate. We consolidated for 6 days and then 4 days. This is our second day of consolidation, and the RSI is cooling off a bit. So we're looking for a 4-hour equilibrium pattern. We're looking for a higher low to be established, which at this point is down here at 161, and that is going to be the level that the bulls really want to hold. If they can't hold it, we're obviously going to pull back. The volume is not concerning. Look at the bull volume compared to bear volume. This is healthy at this point. There's no dump. There's no race to the exit. There's a great opportunity to reload cheaper as we pull back from 247 down to 161. That is essentially a 30% pullback. So significant pullback. Our higher low is trying to be established, and if we bounce and see recovery, we're going to be looking for a lower high to be set somewhere around the low $2 range heading into the next couple days this weekend and into the holiday. So on the hourly time frame, for some more details, we can see this bounce is not really developing at this point. and we are not convinced that this is our low. We need an hourly higher low and higher high and a bull MAC decross to go with it to be convinced that our low has been established at this point. So that's what we're watching for. The last lower high on the hourly that we bounced and rejected from was all the way up here at 202. So we're nowhere near that level. So we can assume that we're going to bounce and set a lower high on this hourly time frame wherever it ends up forming, potentially going to form an inside bar here. If not, again, anticipating a lower high compared to 202, and it will require that then higher low and higher high to reverse momentum and to be confident that our 4-hour higher low is established. And then we're going to look for that same equilibrium on the 4-hour time frame. So we're going to look for the shift on the hourly to indicate that the equilibrium on the 4-hour is going to be set. So that's where we stand. Congrats to all the bulls. What was the signal that the top was in? A loss of the hourly higher low pattern. So I would say right here breaking was the red flag. That low, we had a support of 190 and 189. And when that broke, it didn't lead to an all-out dump. We still bounced, but then headed down to lower low. That was the shift in momentum. Or if you use the 15-minute time frame, you could have watched, and it looked more like a bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern, with that double low at this neckline down here being that signal. And again, that's at 189 and 190. And as soon as that broke, that shifted the momentum from higher lows and higher highs on the hourly to then lower highs and now lower lows as we are consolidating. It is healthy consolidation. The daily chart after this breakout could pull back all the way to 130 and still be extremely healthy. The previous all-time high was 125. We could pull back to 125. And still be really healthy. I don't think we're going to do that. I think the 4-hour equilibrium pattern is going to play out first, and then we'll watch to see which direction that 4-hour equilibrium pattern is going to break. So the trade I made on Bitcoin earlier today, fairly recently, was this dump. And it was an all-out dump, and it led to that really nice V-shaped recovery. And I made an entry based on the 5-minute RSI. And a lot of times I'm telling people that, I need the 15-minute RSI to be oversold for me to be confident. And I look at the 15-minute RSI at the same period of time, and it was not oversold yet. We were close, but in this scenario, there were a couple factors that had me confident entering. Number one was the magnitude of the dump. We literally had no real bounce attempt after dropping hundreds of dollars. We went from 13.2 down to 12. We dropped $500 before we even saw a bounce attempt, and then we continued down. So my logic is, okay, the 5-minute RSI at the low was just under 20. And I'm saying to myself, okay, if the 15-minute RSI is not oversold and we are already on the 5-minute just under 20, if we're going to see 15-minute RSI oversold on this pullback, we're going to see the 5-minute RSI down in the teens, down at, 13, 12, maybe even single digits. I don't think that's likely to happen. And I was also looking for the 4-hour time frame, or I should say the daily time frame. I was looking for the daily time frame to form a higher low compared to this recent low. And I was looking for the 4-hour chart as well. I'm looking for a higher low to be established and for the bulls to put up some form of defense from these levels. That wasn't a major factor in my decision. It was more so just noting how oversold the RSI was on the 5-minute and how much more oversold it would have to get for the 15-minute RSI to be oversold as well. So I started scaling into my position right around here, and the bounce started taking off, and I was exiting profit a little bit here to be protective, exited a little bit more up here, and then made my final exit here. Didn't make it all the way to the top, but again, plenty of profit and plenty of bull volume to go along with that. So again, it was anticipating, again, when you get comfortable noting these charts and you're looking at them all the time, anticipation of things becomes important. Anticipation of what's the volume going to be? How much volume do we have? How much time is left in the candlestick? Comparing it to the previous candlestick. Same thing with the RSI. You get comfortable knowing, okay, the price is going to have to drop down roughly to this area for the RSI to drop down to this level. And if we're already oversold on this time frame, it's going to drop down even further towards this level. So just, again, it comes with experience and looking at charts over and over and over again in many different scenarios to be able to gauge when things are going to cross or when things are going to be overbought or oversold and different scenarios like that. So I appreciate you all watching. Certainly going to check in tomorrow before I hit the road, doing some research on an ICO. Don't do that very often. This is the first one I'm interested in. I will share with everybody after some due diligence, but think it's going to be a nice opportunity. I hope you all have a wonderful last couple days of 2017, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks again.